video is sponsored by Upside.
Hi flower friends, it's Nicole from Flower Hill Farm. And this is a new space for video recording. It's actually just my breezeway with the curtains and this is outside. So we're gonna cover that up. Anyway, I needed a space to record because it's a Sunday, my family's home, they are making noise in the house, and it's raining outside, so I can't go outside with my camera equipment and bring this update to you guys. An update that I've been wanting to bring to you guys for basically several months now, after I sat down with myself and thought, what do I want from Flower Hill Farm? What do I want out of the cut flowers, and what direction do I want to go in? Because the direction that I have been in the last 2 years has really not been great for me. Obviously, you guys know that it was my worst year in cut flowers, and that was many reasons. We all know the animal destruction that I had between the rabbits, the deer, and the cows. In fact, just yesterday I was down just to see what I had left as far as flowers, and the deer even ate the Veronica down to the ground. My brand new perennial row of Veronica cut back down to the ground by the deer. So that's been frustrating to say the very least. So I want to talk to you guys about the future of cut flowers here at Flower Hill Farm, and I'm excited about this. I know a lot of you guys were concerned when I said I was talking about shifting the cut flower farm. Well, that doesn't mean removing the cut flower farm because of how busy we are at the nursery. That just means shifting. I guess the easiest way to explain it is shifting how I sell the flowers, because the farmer's market is just not working for me anymore. The farmer's market is a lot of prep work, and it is basically up to several factors as to how sales go that day, as far as crowd, as far as weather, and several other things that you have to kind of take into consideration when you're selling at a farmer's market. So we're changing things up. I also found some things that were too much for me and things that were not enough. So here is what's going to be happening at the flower farm for 2025. Cross your fingers. I have a list, so let me I was writing down a list. Okay, as far as tulips that I will be planting here over the next few weeks, we are cutting back on tulips. I have had two, I guess, bad years of tulips, and they were for two separate reasons. So I decided to, instead of grow 10,000 tulips, I'm bringing it down to between 3,000 and 4,000 tulips. That way I am not losing thousands of dollars because of botrytis, disease, fungus, or hail. Remember a couple years ago when I had a hailstorm that took out my entire tulip crop? I cannot continue to throw money out the window on something that I don't know. It's not a guarantee of a return. So I am spending a lot less money on tulips, planting fewer tulips, but I think in the long run, I'll be getting the same number of tulips harvested as long as I have a good year. Now those tulips I plan on planting in the raised beds that I just built inside the deer fence, and that way I can cover them if I need to. I can uncover them if I need to. I can offer more protection than I can if they were in larger spaces like they have been in years past. Okay, so that's a change from last year. Fewer tulips, actually like 66% fewer tulips going in the ground this year. I cannot see myself eliminating tulips because the biggest flower weekend for me is Mother's Day. We sold over 150 bouquets at the shop this year on Mother's Day, and that was a combination of my local flowers and flowers that I had to bring in from other sources. Mother's Day is insane when it comes to flower sales, so I always have to make sure that I have to have stuff ready to go for Mother's Day. And I really would love to time the ranunculus and the anemone crop so I could get it about a week earlier, and it would be perfect for Mother's Day. So I'm hoping this is the year that I'll be able to get a whole entire hoop house crop for Mother's Day when it comes to ranunculus and anemones, all of these gorgeous things that will be showstoppers in Mother's Day bouquets.
And now, more about the sponsor of today's video. It's Upside. Upside is a free app that you could use to earn cash back on your everyday essentials. Fueling up? Use Upside. Gotta stop for fast food? Hey, there's Taco Bell. Use your Upside app. You could also use Upside at grocery stores around the country. Every single week, Upside users earn $1 million in cash back. Here's how it works. You claim an offer using your Upside app, like I did at this gas station. And then after you've redeemed it, go ahead and follow the steps in the app, and then you'll get paid. To find out how much money you can earn using Upside, go ahead and click the description of this video or right here on this QR code. Use the code FLOWERHILL to earn an additional 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You can earn up to 3 times more than any other app by using Upside. Again, download the Upside app and use the code FLOWERHILL for an extra 25 cents off per gallon the first time you fill up your tank of gas. Frequent Upside users can earn up to $300 a month. Thanks again to Upside for sponsoring this video.
Okay, here's a huge change when it comes to my CSA membership. I'm actually getting rid of the spring and the summer CSA. And I'm talking about the 5-week bouquet club that I have. So if you were a spring member, you had 5 consecutive, maybe not consecutive, but 5 weeks of fresh cut flowers. And then if you were a summer member, you had 5 weeks of fresh cut flowers. Well, those have a lot of administrative work behind them, sending out the messages, reminding people, and then you get those messages of people who can't pick up. Can I pick up tomorrow? I can't pick up today. Can I pick up 2 days from now? Can my friend pick it up? There's a lot of administrative work that goes on behind the scenes of that, and it's become a lot for me to handle. So moving forward, I'm only going to offer my Bouquet of the Month club, which will still be 5 bouquets, but it will be a May, June, July, August, and September bouquet instead of 5 consecutive weeks. It was very overwhelming for me to do that on top of the nursery, especially the spring CSA that really kicks up in April with harvesting of the daffodils. I just couldn't keep up with everything that the shop required and the farm CSA required. So instead of offering the spring and the summer CSA, I will only do a Bouquet of the Month club, and that will begin on Mother's Day with that first pickup. And then I can space those out so they're easier for me to handle behind the scenes. I'm also eliminating my Rome CSA. And this is a hard one for me because I do have members who have been members for 5 years now in my Rome CSA. But if I'm being honest with you, this past season, I only had 7 members of my Rome CSA, and Rome is about a half an hour away from me. I also had some issues with bouquets kind of disappearing. Like people who were not supposed to take flowers were taking flowers, and then my members would be shorted a bouquet. They'd show up and there would be no flowers left. I had a pickup location in Rome. So I'm eliminating that. So what am I gonna do with all of my daffodils, etc., all of these flowers that I will have available in the spring? Well, I can't tell you the number of people who come into my shop on a weekly basis looking for fresh cut flowers. And I have to be honest with you, there were several weeks where I had to turn people away because I had to satisfy my CSA. Now, with all of those early cuts in April, May, I can harvest those and just have them on demand, available, ready to go at the shop for people to come in and grab fresh cut flowers. So that is the direction that I'm going. Instead of having to have flowers at a specific time for specific people, I'm shifting to having flowers available for whoever wants them at that time. With the amount of foot traffic that I get in the shop, I don't think I'll have any problem. Anytime I had extra bouquets laid out, people were absolutely grabbing them as they were walking in the door. So we're not getting rid of our flower club altogether. We're just shifting it from the weekly to the monthly members. And if I do have weekly members, I've already spoken to most of them about this. They're aware that this change, I told them way back in the spring when I was in over my head, I alerted them ahead of time that the next year was only gonna be a monthly bouquet club. And they totally understand, they get it. Maybe in years to come when I have a staff, because that's coming, that's on the horizon. Maybe once I have a staff and I have a person dedicated here at the farm, they can take over management of a CSA and they can better handle it. Because I did have about 25 Boomville members who were weekly members, but they don't mind shifting to the monthly. Most of them were happy to do that. So it's a slight change, but it's a huge lift. It's a huge burden taken off my shoulders because the change means less work behind the scenes and I don't have to be so hectic with the weekly bouquets. The monthly ones I feel like will be better. I'll be able to better handle the monthly bouquets. Okay, now going back to why I had one of the worst seasons. Well, we're putting up an enormous fence, another huge fence, and this is around the rows of 100 foot. So I think I had 1,400 foot rows in years past. Well, we went ahead and we invested in a post hole digger because we're constantly putting up fences. We're building a fence that will be, we'll be able to get the tractor in, do everything we need to do with the tractor, and take the tractor out and put up the fence walls. I am no longer allowing the bunny rabbits, the woodchucks, the deer, and the cows to dictate how my season is going to go. I have to just put up a fortress and say, no entry, so sorry. If I had done that this year, the number of blooms we would have had would have been the most we've ever produced. But because the critters decided they wanted the tasty seedlings, we had no flowers this year, basically. That brings me to the hoop house. Now, the hoop house has been super beneficial for the 3 years that we've had it. And this year, after ranunculus and anemone season, I never was able to get anything in there for later seasons. I would like to make sure that we are able to do that next year. So we are investing in some equipment that is easier to work inside the hoop house so that we can get the beds made, get the flowers planted, get everything in the ground, and not have it turn into a weedy mess like it did this year. It's a jungle in there right now. I'll take you in there eventually, but it just gets so incredibly weedy that it's depressing and I don't even want to walk in there. So we're gonna overhaul it before snow flies this fall and then really go heavy on the cool crops. I have more campanula coming in, I've got nigella coming in, I've got poppies, I've got all the things that I'm gonna plant in the hoop house for an amazing spring season. So I'm excited about revamping the hoop house and having that be even more productive in 2025. And I'll say again, the larkspur and the campanula this season were phenomenal. I could not even believe how well they did in the hoop house. So I'm going heavy on those again for next year. All right, shifting sales once again. I am not going to be doing any farmers markets moving forward. And I've mentioned this a couple times. There are so many factors that come into the farmers market sales, and there were years where I did it and I did fantastic. I would sell 35 or 40 bouquets and there would be a line at my booth. In the last couple of years, a couple of things changed as far as how my village ran the farmers markets, and I would be lucky if I sold 5 bouquets the past year or two, and that's just depressing. That's really depressing that you're putting in all this work and all of this investment of your time, money, and energy, and the sales are just not there. So what I decided to do, and this kind of happened on a whim, but I'm sticking to it. I fell in love with this little guy. I'm calling this the Flower Hill Farm Chateau. Now this is basically a roadside stand that we are putting in at the bottom of our driveway. We're putting a parking lot in, and we are going to have an additional exit from our driveway to the highway in order to make this the safest it can be for our customers. Now, I never thought I would do a roadside stand. In fact, I think I said in a prior video I would never do a roadside stand, but I also said I would never own a nursery. So never say never. So the Flower Hill Farm Chateau is a gorgeous, gorgeous Amish-built shed that I fell completely in love with. I had to have it, and it's been sitting at the bottom of my driveway for a couple months now, so if you've driven by, you've seen it there. I've actually spoken to quite a few people about the fact that I was putting a farm stand at the end of our driveway, and I was really excited because, I don't know, if you know me, you know that, yes, I'm spontaneous, but I also back that up with research. So I reached out to the New York State Department of Transportation, and they led me to some information, and I was able to find out that more than 7,000 cars drive past my driveway on a daily basis. If that's not an untapped marketplace, I don't know what is. So we are going to be, like I said, we're putting in a parking lot down there, not a huge one, but enough for 6, 7, maybe 8 vehicles, and a turnaround, and then a wider exit so people can come and go safely. Now this is not gonna be open like the entire year. This, I envision, when the nursery closes at the end of June, like it does, I will be able to then sell my flowers and my vegetables at this roadside stand starting July 1st every year through the summer until we open back up on Boone Street for mum season, and maybe even beyond that if I have a staff member who can handle that. Now, I am so excited about this because this means I will be able to sell my flowers and my vegetables and not leave my house. It's a dream come true. I underestimated the amount of time that I would be spending on Boone Street at the nursery when I took it over, and I do miss my time on the farm, and I know you guys miss it too. So in the future, I'm definitely going to be home for the months of July and August, and we'll be selling flowers at the roadside stand at the chateau, and I named it the chateau for my mother. She'll know why. Selling the flowers and the vegetables at the chateau also allows me to only harvest what looks good, and say I only want to cut 5 or 6 bouquets, okay. And maybe it'll allow me to have some more bouquet making videos, right? Because I know we all miss those and I miss making them. So it is an intentional goal of mine to do more bouquet making videos in 2025 because I know how desperately you guys are missing those. I can read all the comments in the comment section, and I know that you guys miss me being here at the farm. Things are, transitioning, and I'm taking on more businesses and more things, and I know you guys miss the stuff that you originally came here for. So I'm trying to keep it a mixture of all the things that I have on my plate. Now, eventually, that said, we do want Boone Street Nursery to be open year-round. I envision that being a couple years out. If all of my dreams come true at the nursery, we will have a large retail store, a commercial kitchen with a bistro, and a botanical garden. So you might be saying, how the heck are you going to be juggling all of those things? Well, that's what a staff is going to have to help me with. I will be hiring people. I have to hire people. There is no feasible way for me to do all of this on my own as much as I might think that I can. It's impossible. There aren't enough hours in the day. And while I might be able to fill 18 of those hours with hard work, it's still not enough time. I still need to see my family. My kids are growing up and they'll be leaving the house soon. I want to soak up as much time with them as possible. So I will be hiring several people, and for several different things. I need somebody here at the farm. I need somebody at the shop. I need multiple people at the shop. And eventually I'm going to need a kitchen staff and probably a landscaper or two in the botanical garden. There are going to be several team members that I'm going to be adding to the Flower Hill Farm team that right now consists of me. And that's okay. I got this. I would also love to hire a social media manager that could just follow me around with the camera, because half the time that I don't do videos, now more like 75% of the time that I'm not producing video content, it's because I don't have the extra arms, the hands, the person, the people, the time. Really, that's all it is. In an ideal world, I would have all those people helping me, but you also need to have money to pay a staff. And considering the fact that I have yet to give myself a paycheck and we're in year 6, it could be problematic. So we'll figure something out, and I think adding all of these extra things to Boone Street will generate the revenue that I need to hire these people on. So cross your fingers for that one, please, because I cannot do this all by myself. Okay, as far as the farm goes, I have a list of things that I'll be starting from seed over the winter, and I have a lot of things that I ordered plugs from. And you guys know plugs are little baby plants that were started by seed from somebody else, and then they send them to you when they're between, let's say between 4 weeks old and 14 weeks old when it comes to Lisianthus. So I'll be using a combination of my own seedlings and seedlings that I order in to start the farm. I'm really excited for that. I miss starting seeds, so I do have a list of seeds that I will be starting for both here and at the nursery. I do have a giant grow room in the basement here that I will be utilizing this year for some cut flower seedlings. I'm very excited about that. Right now, I'm working on a seed inventory to see what I have and what I need, because things slip through the cracks, especially if you're not paying attention. And right now I have the next couple of months to pay attention and hone in on what I need. I do have to finish ordering for the nursery, and I have to finish ordering for the flower farm. So I am going to be going through all of my seeds and making an inventory, because last year, believe it or not, I forgot to start Gomphrena. I didn't start any Gomphrena. I had no Gomphrena at the farm this year, and that was really really detrimental to my bouquet making abilities. And I guess what else? I didn't start. And I didn't want to admit this, but I didn't even get basil in the ground. My Mrs. Burns citrus lemon basil never made it into a bouquet. I did have some cinnamon basil, but I didn't have any Mrs. Burns, and that was really a letdown. I don't know what happened there. I guess I just forgot to start it for the farm. I started it for nursery sales, but starting it for nursery sales and starting it for the farm are two totally different things. To recap, we have new fences going up, new equipment in the hoop house to make that bigger and better than ever. Not bigger, it's not getting any bigger, but it'll be getting better. We have the Flower Hill Farm Chateau at the end of the road, so we can sell the flowers right here at the farm for the 7,000 people that drive by every single day in front of my house. And that's vehicles, that's not people. So think about that. There's more than 7,000 people in those vehicles that drive by every single day. Fewer membership options, but we're still doing the Bouquet of the Month Club, and we're focusing on Boonville. And unfortunately, I am gonna have to shut down my Rome CSA, which I would keep if I had 20, 25 members there as well. But with only 7 members, I felt silly. Sometimes I would have to shut the shop down to drive the 7 bouquets to Rome, and it felt silly because I've got people pounding on the door to get into the nursery, and I'm shutting it down to bring 7 bouquets to Rome. And I love all of those members, so maybe I'll do monthly deliveries to Rome. I have until November 1st to figure that out. That's when my memberships will go on sale. Oh my gosh, that's like 2 weeks away. All right, I gotta get going, guys. All right, guys, I wanted to update you on that for so long now, and I've got it all out, so now we just need to manifest it into reality, and I think that we can do that together, okay? Thanks for sticking around, guys. We'll see you soon. Oh, one more thing. I just looked at my list that's really long. I have to be honest with you guys. The number of people coming in before and after we have flowers is getting quite large, and I don't like disappointing people. I feel like when people come into my shop looking for a fresh cut bouquet of flowers and I have to tell them no, that they're less likely to come back again. So I'm looking at ways to expand our flower season, potentially having flowers available at the Boone Street shop year round. So that will be probably a combination of trying to grow maybe some indoor flowers in the greenhouse and bringing in some flowers from some other growers. So I think that's something I'm looking forward to in the future, because I can't turn people away. I feel like I lose future business when I turn them away at the time. So not only am I losing that sale, I'm losing their future sales as well. We are open on Boone Street longer than the season. I do think that I'm going to have to figure out a way to have flowers available year round, because that's what my customers are coming to expect. And that's the latest from Flower Hill Farm. I turned off my ring light and this is what it looks like now. Ready? It's gonna be blinding. And there I am.